Hi everyone, welcome to More Books with B. Sharice. I'm your host, B. Sharice Moore. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while again. I've been busy. I have a book release coming out at the end of this month, May 24th, Dr. Jen's Scholar, so I'm looking forward to that. Just been busy teaching and writing and being a mom and all those things that come with living every day. But I wanted to talk about what I have done and what I haven't done. And then we're going to talk a lot about what I haven't done, if that makes any sense. So, when I first started this channel almost 2 years ago, I dedicated it to, reviewing diverse books by diverse authors. And so I stuck to, picture books, young adult novels, middle grade novels, graphic novels, and I even added some of the games, the board games that I purchased, as well as a few puzzles that I purchased from some black-owned businesses. So I've done all that. But one thing that I haven't done is I haven't focused on reviewing a literary magazine. And so when I was approached to do this, I thought about how wonderful it would be to talk about a literary magazine that young adults could read and really be encouraged and inspired by. And so here we have Wizards in Space Literary Magazine. All right? Wizards in Space Literary Magazine. And this is issue 6. First and foremost, the book is just what the magazine is. It's absolutely fantastic. And it doesn't just include poems and short stories, which is what I was expecting. It also includes collages, as well as these really beautiful black and white illustrations. And they just really add to the experience and the journey of reading this literary magazine. Okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about some of the works in this magazine that I really enjoyed. 38 Juliets. 38 Juliets is a poem about a young girl sitting in class, English 101 or English 1, and they're covering Romeo and Juliet. Now we all know that Romeo and Juliet is canon, has been for quite some time, and there are not many of us who escape high school without having to read Romeo and Juliet at some point. So we have that. And in this piece, the main character, I can call it a character because it's like a narrative poem, it's a prose poem. All she's doing is daydreaming about different Juliets, and all the different types and kinds of women that Juliet doesn't embody, that William Shakespeare actually doesn't embody, for Juliet, So she pictures Juliet as anything other than this love-struck, demure, genteel, feminine archetype in the play. And so she ends up doodling 38 different women who are much more round, much more robust in their personalities and their wants and their dreams and desires. Women whose worlds do not revolve around men like Romeo. And it's just a fantastic piece. The second that I wanted to talk about is a short story called Our New Artifacts. And this takes place in the future, far in the future. And the main character is a craftsman who's been approached by, a customer who wants him to recreate something from a picture. And from this, initial meeting, unravels this amazing tale about the importance of memories, and how our memories can really take us through and bring us through traumatic experiences. Then there's another poem, Conversations with Dragon and the Goblin in My Head. This particular poem is, I would say, a nod to the idiom of the devil and the angel on your shoulder, but it has such an entertaining and unexpected twist that really stuck with me. And then there's The Taste Collector. I think I've mentioned on this on the show before, I'm a foodie. Like, I love food so much. And so anything that has food in it, I'm going to love. I'm just going to enjoy it. And I often inject it into my own writing. But Taste Collector is just a list poem about taste and different foods, and how those foods and their taste lingers with us, and how it affects us in everyday life. And then let's go to the art. There were two pieces of art. Well, I love them all, but there were two that stuck out to me. One was called The Attic, and it was just, a drawing of an attic. No big deal, but in going back to the Our New Artifacts piece and memories, I thought that it was a great segue, or a great, not necessarily a segue, but like a great connection between that piece and Our New Artifacts, because it's just an illustration of an attic, with a bunch of old ties in it, but it was really pleasing to the eye. And lastly is Inventory of a Survival Kit. And this is just like a sketch of different things that the artist needs to survive, in life, from medicine to walks, all the things that we need to make sure that we're growing and thriving as humans. So that's my review of Wizards in Space Literary Magazine, but I just think it's a good idea to allow our young people to see all the different possibilities that they're writing. All too often, I think we encourage young people to kind of like lock in on one genre, and sometimes I think we do that too early. Like, even the students that I teach now, they all want to write novels, and they're like 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, and I would never discourage a young person from writing a novel. If you want to write a novel, write a novel. But at the same time, I also know that writing smaller, more focused things really help when writing a novel. You do those things first. You complete those little small things, like a short story, flash fiction, those kinds of things. That's why I have my students write microfiction. We do that often. But we have all that stuff, in place. So this is like the boot camp before you actually go to war, which is writing the novel, So you don't want to skip those steps. And plus, I often, even though I have a lot of students and they're so ambitious, incredibly ambitious and brilliant, they never finish the novels. I'll talk to them a year later, or they'll email me and I'll ask them, so how's, such and such going? They're like, I haven't finished it. And it's like, yeah, because, the novel is like putting a cart before the horse, Finish that short story first. Finish that flash fiction. Write a couple poems. Those things. So I will leave on, in the description section, I will leave all the information to Wizards in Space Literary Magazine for you. They also, for those of you who are writers, they also have submissions, so you can actually submit. I don't think their submissions are open yet. They've been closed for a little while, but I'll have to double check. But I'll leave that information for you for the website, and definitely, subscribe to them. Get your child a subscription. I would suggest this for older teens, so, grades 10, 11, 12, because some of this, there wasn't a lot of, subject matter that I felt was extremely mature, but there was some. So I want you to be aware of that. But again, fantastic literary magazine. Please support it. Consider buying a subscription. And I think this is something that will encourage your child to look at writing a little bit differently and understand that, you don't have to be a novelist. You can just write short stories. You can just write poetry. You can draw. All of those things, all right? Or you can still write novels too, but you can do it all. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I will see you all soon to talk a little bit more about Dr. Marvelous Hen's Odd Scholars, my new novel, and we will be discussing more books. Thanks so much. Take care.